Perfect Fit Closets, how to use adjustable shelves and glass adjustable shelves. We'll be looking into our closet catalog with Perfect Fit Canada's shelf adjustables and glass adjustables. I have my 2020 program and platform open, and today I'll be using my Perfect Fit Canada or Canadian catalog. We've got two catalogs, the American and US. They're the same with the differences of pricing. That's the only thing that's different. In my local browser, I'm going to double-click our categories, double-click on our parts. In our parts sections, we've got 5 subcategories: panels, shelves, drawers, doors, floating shelves, and our part list. Underneath the subcategory shelves, if I double-click, in our previous video, we've already spoken about our shelf fixed, which also describes it right here. I've got some shelf fixed items here depicted in navy blue. Below, we'll be talking about our shelf adjustables. And below that, we're going to talk about our glass shelf adjustables. In our modules, on my current elevation, I've got 2 wall modules on the left, and I've also got 3 tall modules on the right. Let's see how we can use our regular shelf adjustables. With my wall module, we've got line boring holes on each of the sections here. I'm going to go ahead and left-click my shelf adjustable, drag it in, and dropping. I can easily drag and drop anywhere in the screen or anywhere in the elevation as long as I see my magnet. And once I hover over the applicable modules, it will resize and attach itself. Shelf adjustables come in a different, my apologies, shelf adjustables come as a 3/4 inch thick board with edge banding in the front, comes with 4 M-03-2415 shelf pins. The shelf pins and adjustables can be used on any of the line boring holes on our 32mm European system. All adjustable shelves have a product code of SHFA. We can see that we have 2 shelf adjustables. Pretty simple and standard. When to use shelf adjustable floating. In this section here, I have on the right-hand side 2 tall modules. I can easily grab a regular shelf adjustable and drop it in, and it will resize according to the module. This panel and this panel here are half drilled. So let's take a look at the properties. I'm going to my attribute section for my tall module. And in my tall module, I see that I've got a clean face on the right-hand side. If I left-click on my variables, I can scroll all the way down, and the panel on the right is half drilled. The same thing will apply for this module. If I left-click on my attributes, the left panel should be half drilled. Indicating right here, panel left half drilled. Now we know that we can't use a regular shelf adjustable in between these 2 module sets. We can drop it here because I've got line boring holes at each of the sides. So that will apply there. If I use a shelf adjustable floating, I can still use it on any section. They're still the same price and one and the same. However, with floating, I can now add it to any panels that don't even have bored holes. An instance that somebody can use this is the installer could pre-drill a few holes by piloting their drill bit from the hold side to the non-hold side and making extra holes so that shelf fixed and shelf adjustables can be used. So once again, shelf adjustable, dropping it in, and I can use it anywhere I want, as well as bored holes and non-bored holes. Shelf adjustable standalone is for parts. In the event that the designer would like to add some extra parts, maybe they forgot parts, maybe they need to reorder parts, you can use a shelf adjustable standalone. Anything that says standalone in our parts section are just basic part components. I can left-click my shelf adjustable standalone, drag it in once I see my magnet, go to my farthest working left, and I can drop it in. I can resize it. Once I've actually dropped in, I can actually go back in there, right click the shelf adjustable standalone, left click on my attributes. And at this point, I can right click the illustration so I can see it a bit better, left click my variables. And this is where I can change the depth and the width. I can change the depth according to what I'd like and according to the module depth. And I could also change the width as an example. Left click here in the gray area to save the changes. And we can see that the maximum size for the width is quite long. We can see that a shelf adjustable can max out at 96 inches. Maximum depth. (48 inches. So the maximum part for this shelf adjustable can be 48 inches by 96 inches. Again, you can use this for parts or whatever you need it for. The same thing will apply for our glass adjustables. The exact same method and the reason behind the glass shelf adjustables. The glass shelf adjustables have one thing that's a bit different. In my dealer portal, I can click on shelves and go to glass shelf adjustable. With the glass shelf adjustable, the actual pins have got a silicone bumper. So therefore it doesn't scratch. It doesn't click on glass to metal. It'll sit right here on the actual silicone bumper. And again, same thing applies. I can click on my glass shelf adjustable, drop it in, and drop. You can notice that it's different thicknesses. A regular adjustable is 3/4. And we have a 1/4 inch for our glass adjustables. Again, I can drop it. And then once it's dropped, I can certainly move it. I can certainly move my glass adjustables. Again, just like my other adjustable shelves, I can drop it in between modules if I've got line boring holes. Same thing for our tall modules. And if I have line boring holes on each of the sides, I can then use my glass shelf adjustable floating. I can still use this, same price as always, but now I can actually drop it where there are no holes, and the installer will have to manually drill the holes. And last but not least, same thing for our glass shelf adjustable standalone. I can drop it in and drop. And let's take a look at the properties for the maximum sizes for my glass shelves. We'll click onto our variables tab. And shelf depth. We've got a maximum shelf depth. Really, we can make glass pieces however large you'd like. As you can see, it is still going. So I could really change the actual attributes on the actual shelf depth and width and so forth. I could actually resize it right here. I could right click on my glass shelf, resize width. And for 14 inches, the actual depth. Let's try that again. Let's click on our annotations, line to line. One there. I don't think I'm clicking that right. Let's try that one more time. Line to line. 1 and 2. And 48 inches is my width. So again, the depth and the width will change depending on the square footage, but we could always give glass pieces, and typically glass pieces aren't going to be this wide. You probably want glass pieces that are going to be 36 inches wide or less. Obviously, you want to have some stability to that. A lot of this is just purely decoration, and a lot of the modules will be 24, 30 inches wide, 42 inches wide, and we are not anticipating anybody buying larger glass pieces like that. Again, if you have any questions, we just spoke about our shelf adjustables and glass adjustables. They're one and the same, except this is 3/4 inch wooden core, and this is a 1/4 inch thickness glass adjustables. Any questions, please feel free to give us a call and contact us at support@perfectfitcanada.com.